How stressed out does your job have you feeling right now? Stress and anxiety are now the highest workplace injury, with 87% of employees reporting a toxic work environment. For entrepreneurs and business leaders, this is a major issue for both our teams and our own personal health. My health scare was a wake-up call, and in this episode, I'm going to give you 5 simple things I've learned that are keys to managing workplace stress. Welcome back to Bootstrappers, the podcast that helps entrepreneurs scale their businesses fast with the power of remote teams. I'm Gwenn Aspen with my business partner and spouse, Jeremy Aspen, and at Anaquim, we have helped hundreds of companies grow with remote professionals. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the fact that I had a major heart incident.
All right. Pay attention. This is great.
So entrepreneurship and health. Well, entrepreneurship is very hard on people's health.
Yeah, it can be.
And for me personally, it meant that this August, I was driving down the road. My heart was beating crazy fast. I pulled over. I ended up passing out. I thought I was having a heart attack. I spent 3 days at the med center here trying to get my heartbeat under control. It resulted in a surgery. Anyway, it was
heart surgery.
A heart surgery. And I'm relatively healthy. I mean, I work out almost every
Super.
day. I eat healthy. I don't drink. I meditate daily. I write in my journal.
Smokes way less.
So I don't smoke.
Never have.
I care about my sleep. I track my sleep. I take vitamins. But the truth of the matter is operating a growing business is just truly very stressful. And Jeremy, you've had your own struggles with stress.
Have I?
You went.
Yeah, I did. When I was, especially when I was switching careers, I had this, it ended up being an ophthalmic migraine. But what happens is the bottom third of your eyes, your vision goes away. You can't see it. So everything gets contorted. I couldn't read words. It was really
You thought
weird.
we both thought you were going blind.
Yeah, and then it became like, was it a stroke, whatever. And one time I was jogging down a trail. I was here in Omaha, even though I didn't live here. And then it felt like I was just jogging, and it felt like someone just punched me right in the gut. Or I'm sorry, in the chest, and poof. And so then I thought I was definitely having a heart issue. I walked really slowly, went to the hospital, and man, they just got me in there right away. But it was all part of an ophthalmic migraine.
Isn't that wild?
Weirdly. But yeah, it's just because the stress does some crazy shit to your mind. And you gotta, like, if I'm starting a new company, I'm telling you, if you're starting a new company, make sure you've got your stuff balanced to some extent. Maybe when you're young and you can be stressed out a little bit more and you can work longer hours, cool. But make sure you've got a way of making it
some kind
healthy.
of balance. You have to take care of.
I work out. And that's something I never gave up. I worked out, I mean, essentially every day for 40 years I've worked out.
But
to some extent.
These aren't just our stories. I mean, I was talking to another entrepreneur, and he had been just working his ridiculous hours, and he went on a family vacation, and he was so burned out. He was basically catatonic, could barely speak during the family vacation because he was so burned out. Another person I was talking to, they get tinnitus whenever their blood pressure goes up.
Oh, that would die. Kill me.
And so they have ringing in their ears every time their blood pressure goes up. And they had an especially hard moment in their business, and the ringing was just like crazy in their ears. And that's not something you want to mess with, because if it goes on too long, I think it's kind of permanent.
It's a huge suicide rate.
So the main thing is that your business isn't going to do well if you're stressed out of your mind. And this is something I kind of had to learn the hard way. I would push myself so much that I would get sick, and then I would have to take time off for being sick. And it makes you wonder if I just taken like half a Friday
It all
off.
balances out. Yep.
Exactly. If I had just taken care of myself, taken half a Friday off, the business would have actually done better.
It's the benefit of discipline. So if you do have the discipline to help make sure that you are not distracted, or that you do go to your daughter's, events and stuff like that. If you do have the discipline to maintain a balance, I guarantee you the net gain to your company will be a positive. The value that you bring to the company will definitely be a positive, because operating under those pressured conditions, you're not even productive. You're just like spending time sitting in a chair wishing you were somewhere else, or tired and can't wait to get home so that you can end another day where you were just sitting in the office catatonic. Not catatonic in the same way your friend was, but you know.
Yeah. So I started taking jujitsu, and jujitsu is really interesting because it's like every time I go to that class, which I'm very new at it, so it's not like I've been there a million times, but I learned something that's like a life lesson. And I was there, I guess it was 2 Saturdays ago, and this lesson just kind of has been marinating in my brain. There was a guy who was being really kind of obnoxious. So we learned a skill, and then you have to practice it with the people at the in the class. And this one guy was just like murdering the other guy, like going too hard, like hurting the guy. And the instructor was like, "You guys, you have to stop acting like that. You can learn jujitsu, learn the skills in a controlled environment. Don't hurt each other. Don't hurt yourself. Don't go so hard that you hurt yourself, because then you're going to be out of the game for recovery, and then you're not going to learn jujitsu." And he said that the people who learn slowly in a controlled environment, taking care of themselves, do far better in the competitions than people who go super hard during the trainings. And the same thing is true with your business. Yes, entrepreneurship takes, hard work, and you work more than your friends who have like a 9-to-5, a W-2 job.
Yeah.
But that balance, and if you take care of yourself along the way, you're going to survive your business, because you can't enjoy it if you're dead, if you have a heart attack.
As far as we know.
But you can have balance, and your business can grow at the same time. You don't need to murder your soul, murder your mental health, give up everything that's meaningful to you in terms of family time to win at business, because ultimately sometimes you go overboard and it actually means that you are less successful.
Yeah, brain's not brawn. It's almost cliche, but if you find yourself kind of muscling through, and we can use this in the figurative sense too. If you're muscling through something, or you're like emailing another episode we were talking about, and you're just kind of getting through a list of things to do, and you're getting through the day, and you're just finding things that make you feel like you're working, but you're not using your brain. Not using your brain like in a real kind of a controlled sense, like you've got an idea and you're going to do the steps that it takes to get to the end, then you're just doing busy work. And
so
busy work,
prioritize the things that will really make a difference in your business.
Yeah, prioritize the things that and it's another way of saying that you're good at. Because if you're good at something and you give yourself the time to focus on what you're good at, then you start to enter this kind of emergent system of value, as opposed to muscling through all the stuff that you don't want to do, like your bookkeeping. You don't want to do your bookkeeping? All right, find someone for $500 a month to do your bookkeeping. You can stop bitching. You'll stop feeling uncomfortable. And you're going to have somebody that's better at doing bookkeeping than you are anyway.
And then you can work out or take care of yourself, go on a walk.
Anything else. You can do anything else, but having that discipline. That's why we send people to elite universities. Elite universities, what they historically have done really well is they train people to do hard work in a methodical, disciplined way. And the reason that they're more valuable to companies is because that's the skill that they take with them to their business, to their career. And that's worth a lot more than just huffing and puffing, trying to get through email or trying to get through, the phone calls that are lambasting you because you gave your client your cell number. I mean,
just be thoughtful about the business so
everything
that you don't have to work so hard,
yeah.
And then you can take care of your health more.
Yeah, and then the health thing is so important because, that's also cliche, but you live once, right? All these cliches, but they're a cliche, and there's so many of those cliches because it's one of those like, duh.
Well, and we're farther along in our entrepreneurial journey than a lot of people. I mean, we're older, and this is our second startup. So I guess if I if I could give any advice to people who are just starting on an entrepreneurial journey, I mean, our kids are high school age. We did a lot of this while they were young. And a part of me thinks that I worked too hard while the kids were young, that maybe I wish I hadn't been so stressed out about work while I was with them, like more present with them. But that time goes really fast. And before you know it, they're teenagers, which they don't really want to hang out with you that much anyway. I guess our kids like hang out with us a little bit.
They do. Sure they do.
But it's not the same. It's not the same as when they're little. And
when you kiss their noses and they giggle and stuff like that.
We don't have that anymore.
Yeah, no, that would be gross.
And you don't want to regret things. You don't want to regret ruining your health. You don't want to regret not taking time for your family. And I think being reflective on a daily basis as to whether you're working on the right things, whether you're balanced, you're taking care of your health, and have another thing that I think is really important that I learned over time is I used to be kind of like my own worst enemy in my brain. I would say like horrible things to myself if I wasn't working my butt off. And having a more encouraging voice in your head instead of like a drill sergeant voice in your head can really reduce your stress level. And I guess I'm just saying be a little bit kinder to yourself. And those entrepreneurs who are just at that moment where it just seems really hard. And stressful.
If I'm giving somebody advice, I know everybody tries diligently to keep, a lot of people try to keep their work life and their social life and their family life separate. Okay, I could see that there being some utility in that, but the fact of the matter is that all three of those elements of your life roll up into your life. You get the one, and you can't break it down. You can't just have one of the pieces of the pie wrap all the way around so that it squeezes out all the other ones, because all you're doing by having that imbalance is depreciating the value that you're applying to your life. Don't do that. Make sure there's that balance.
To help your team manage stress, you first need to listen to your team. This all starts with a healthy one-on-one meeting with your employees, and our reusable form for one-on-one meetings is a great way to keep your employees happy, healthy, and heard. Download this free PDF now. The link is in the show notes.